Mikko, it's great to see you.
Great to see you again.
There's a lot going on. Your job title just seems to get longer and longer. You've added defense to it now.
Yeah, so I did, and I think we are reaching the maximum now because I'll have to focus on what I have on my portfolio.
To have a business card like this size. But
Yeah, exactly.
But why has Nokia launched a defense incubator, which you're in charge of?
We've always been in defense, so it's not a new thing, but obviously we are placing a new focus on defense. I think the reason is very simple. The battlefield is increasingly data-driven, and you need a massive connectivity to run the army of drones and robots. And obviously, that's about security, that's about our own defense as well. So we have a massive interest in playing there. And obviously 5G is a unique solution with the capacity.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to use 5G than to invent a new technology, right? Because it's all there. I mean, it's designed for 5.9's reliability.
Yeah.
People talk about sort of mil-tech and, it's military-grade technology. Actually, in many ways, telecom technology is superior to those levels of reliability. So it's an obvious fit, but what does it do to your business and the mix of the business in terms of your expectation for growth from this area?
So fundamentally, we'll obviously have to really understand well the use case. And militaries are, of course, quite different customers from the operators. So we have to understand that playing field really kind of in a sort of a detailed way. And fundamentally, we are developing this business as a kind of innovation partnership with the defense forces. So that what we do and how do we apply the commercial technology, it has to have a real fit with the use cases. And like you see, for example, in Ukraine, the battlefield keeps on evolving. The war, the way it's conducted right now is very different from what it was 2 years ago.
Yes.
So we have to stay in that picture, in the loop. And that's why we have to build the business slightly differently than we did it in the past.
So it sounds like there's a learning experience happening at the moment in terms of where the intersection between the Nokia ecosystem and the mil-tech ecosystem is.
It's about learning how do we utilize the massive 5G technology stack in a best possible way, and how we kind of modify it into the battlefield conditions. So this is the learning task. But fundamentally, we are seeing that the demand signal is there, the expectations are there, and we already see that there's a massive potential for scalable products in the field. So we are really excited to move along that path now.
But there's always been a segue between technology developed for the military and it ends up being used in consumer, like the internet is an obvious example. Now it feels like we're going in the other direction. I guess the really interesting thing for me is that so many of the problems that you have to solve for the military are actually replicated in the consumer world as well, or the industrial world. I mean, we're talking about Internet of Trillions, we're talking about sensors everywhere. Do you think there's a possibility that your new defense unit will develop new technologies that actually will benefit the consumer side of the house as well?
Yes, because fundamentally what we do see is that these lines between commercial or customer-focused businesses and defense, they are getting blurred. Like, for example, we now know that you can utilize the commercial 5G network for military defense purposes. You can actually bring a lot of more capabilities into the network. So it's still a civilian network, mostly used by the civilian customers, but it's massively relevant, let's say, for drone detection. And obviously, that's not only about the battlefield or the front line, it's about all of your national systems. So these lines are getting blurred. So I think it's a massive benefit for Nokia, since we know how to play on both sides of the field, and we know where the links are and how do you actually utilize them both ways.
Yeah. Well, you also have another secret weapon, if I can use that pun, which is the trust relationship that you have with the world.
Yeah.
And I think that is actually as important as the IP and the development. for very obvious reasons. I just want to ask you, and I don't mean to blindside you with this, but Nokia is in a new place now. You're doing a lot of things, new things, and you're doing things differently. There's another opportunity up there in space, satellites, data centers, laser optics, laser from satellite to the Earth. Is there a possibility we may see another, you may be adding another title to the job title, space networks?
I think I'm gonna keep the titles that I have, but I'll put it so that there is no dimension that will go unnoticed
Yeah.
for Nokia Defense.
Yeah. Okay, that's an awesome answer. It's always a pleasure.
Likewise.
Great energy from Nokia.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.